Hello, you lovely lot. So today's video is a little bit different than the usual ADHD content. I want to talk about mental health and my own struggles, ongoing struggles. I'm not sure if this will be useful to anyone whatsoever, but I've wanted to make this video for a while just to document what I've been through and what I'm sort of currently going through, and I suppose it's a bit of a reference point for me to look back on. So my own struggles with mental health started around about 7 years ago during my second year at uni, and it kind of began with this feeling of like impending dread, anxiety and apathy that was kind of growing with no obvious reason as to why. It sounds kind of stupid, but I didn't want to talk to anyone, and I still struggle with it, but at the time especially I didn't want to talk to anyone about it because I felt quite sort of burdensome and as though there was something wrong with me because of the way that I was feeling. After probably 2 or 3 months, possibly more, of feeling this way, I finally plucked up the courage to go and speak to someone about how I was feeling. That person was the GP, and I hadn't actually been to that GP before because I had fairly recently moved to uni, so I had to register, so it was my first time actually visiting that doctor. In short, this appointment was a complete disaster, to be quite honest. The doctor basically dismissed what I was saying, and in not as many words told me just to get on with it. Obviously this knocked me further back and just sort of cemented the idea in my head that I was being a burden, and that I just needed to sort of grow up and not make such a fuss. It took me a while, but eventually I spoke to my partner at the time, who said it might be worth going back and trying to see a different GP at this particular practice. This appointment went way better, which is good. I felt like the doctor really listened to what I had to say, and was really empathetic towards how I was feeling. So I finally felt like I had a bit of an answer to the way that I had felt for quite a while now. The doctor suggested trying antidepressants, an SSRI, which was to try and treat anxiety and depression. And yeah, that was its own adventure on its own, which I'll go into. Over the next 5, 6, 7 months, something like that, this prescription was changed maybe 6-ish times to different SSRIs because of the fact that I was getting loads of unwanted side effects, which I know they do have, but the benefits of the medication weren't anywhere near outweighing the side effects that I was getting. I finally stumbled upon fluvoxamine, which really helped, to the point where it eased my anxiety and depression. I was much more sociable, I was able to concentrate on uni work, and I was optimistic about what was coming in my life as well, for the first time in probably about a year at that point. I stayed on these for around about 6 months, and then I kind of somewhat suddenly came off of them, which I know is really stupid, but it was because I was moving abroad for a job. That again is another story, and basically I came back as quickly as I left. My mental health, obviously at this point when I got back, declined to probably an all-time low, and over the next couple of years, despite going back onto fluvoxamine, I couldn't get my mental health stable to the point of even where it was pre-medication. Between then and now, I've tried several more SSRIs, SNRIs, MAOIs, I think that's what they are, which have all come with their own set of horrendous side effects and haven't actually been able to ease my anxiety, depression type symptoms. When I think about this, it does get me really frustrated, because I want to just be able to get on with my life without hoping that the next drug that I try will be like a panacea, like a silver bullet, and the answer to all of my problems, which I know it won't, most likely. I am still really struggling with social situations, work, and keeping up with daily life, and that's why I finally got round to starting some CBT in the next sort of month or so. I'm really optimistic about starting CBT as well, because I feel like it's going to be able to help me to get control of my own thoughts, and be able to sort of self-soothe somewhat when my emotions are running really high. But most of all, I kind of want to get an understanding of what the underlying thoughts are that are really holding me back in my life, because when I sit down to meditate, I try and meditate sort of morning and night, the thoughts seem to come and go so fast. It's really difficult for me to register what they're actually saying, if that makes any sense. That is my little ramble about my own mental health struggles. I'd be really interested to hear about anyone else's struggles with mental health. Not that I want people to be going through it, but if you have, I'd love to hear any ways that you have managed them, what's really helped you, whether it be meditation, CBT, medication, exercise, whatever it is. But yeah, that is all. So I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.